Archangel Michael says, "Check your heart before you check your bank account, for it is there that heaven first begins to pour its blessings." The Father above knows the desires within you. He hears your whispered prayers, even the ones spoken in silence, and He holds each one tenderly in His hands. Though the world may speak of riches measured in numbers and balances, God measures abundance in peace, mercy, and grace that flows without limits, even through the darkest valleys of your life. And yes, sometimes, even in ways you do not expect, that abundance becomes visible in your life in the most unimaginable ways, a gift from heaven wrapped in love, not in gold. Type 999 if you trust Jesus. Archangel Michael is whispering to you today, beloved one. The last 45 seconds of this video carry a gentle answer to the prayer you've been holding in silence. Don't stop now, watch till the very end. There is something sacred happening tonight, something your soul has felt before your mind even understood. God is reaching for you with both hands, urging you to believe, to stay awake, to not give up, even when the hour is late and your strength is faint. He wants you to listen not just with your ears but with your heart wide open. He wants you to feel the truth of His presence, not only around you but within you, whispering peace into the places where fear has lived for far too long. You may be looking at your life and wondering how you will get through another day. You may be staring at your bank account, at your bills, at your dreams that feel buried under worry, wondering if God still remembers the promises He placed in your spirit. But I tell you, child of light, God has not forgotten. He is not delayed. His timing is wrapped in eternity, and tonight, He is stirring something extraordinary on your behalf. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you believe God is guiding you. What is coming is not just about money, and it is not about luck. It is about divine provision, an answer to the hunger that has lived inside your soul, the cry for security, for peace, for something more than just surviving. It is about God showing you that He is still the God of miracles, still the Father who parts seas, moves mountains, and causes rivers to flow in deserts. It is about a breakthrough that starts within, a reminder that you are not forsaken, and that heaven is not silent. Tonight, the windows of heaven are open wide, and God is pouring down His love in ways that only faith can recognize. It may come in a phone call you weren't expecting, an opportunity that didn't exist yesterday, or even a message that reaches you just when you needed it most. But however it comes, it carries His fingerprints, and it will never be late. What if you could unlock a secret brain wave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. God is not only generous, He is extravagant in His love. He gives not because you have earned it, but because you are His. He gives not to reward perfection, but to heal the broken, to lift the weary, and to restore the hope you thought was gone forever. What you are about to receive may look like money in your account, but it is something deeper, a holy reassurance that you are seen, known, and cherished beyond measure. Tonight, Heaven leans close, and every angel stands in awe at what God is preparing to do in your life. It is not a coincidence that your spirit feels this pull, this sense of something sacred about to unfold. It is not foolish to believe that God can surprise you in the most breathtaking ways, even when everything around you says otherwise. Type 222 if you know God is with you. You are not too late. You are not too far. You are not forgotten. What is coming has been written with your name on it since the beginning of time. And even now, as your heart reads these words, something holy is beginning to bloom inside you again, a flicker of belief, a whisper of trust, a soft flame of faith being rekindled by the breath of God. So if you find yourself doubting, pause. Breathe. Listen. Let the weight fall from your shoulders and let the hope rise again in your chest. God is begging you not to give up, not because He needs anything from you, but because He cannot bear to see you live one more day believing you are less than what you truly are, His beloved, His chosen, His child. There is a miracle on its way to you, not because of a number, not because of a date or a time, but because you are loved by the one who owns everything and withholds no good thing from those who walk in trust. You are not here by accident. This is your moment. Tonight is sacred. Keep your heart open. Stay awake in your spirit. Let this be the beginning of something so beautiful that only God could write it. Archangel Michael says, "Tonight, heaven has drawn near to the earth, and the light of God is pressing gently against the door of your soul." You may not see it with your eyes, and your mind may not yet understand it, but your spirit knows something beautiful is unfolding in the quiet. God's love is not loud or hurried, it moves slowly like a gentle stream, steady and sure, bringing healing to every place within you that aches for peace, safety, and a future that feels full of hope again. This moment isn't just about what's being placed into your hands, but about what is being stirred inside your heart. Long before anything appears around you, God always begins His miracles within you. He knows how heavy your burdens have been, how often you've smiled through pain, and how many nights you've spent praying for a sign, for an answer, for something to change. And now, as quietly as a sunrise, He is bringing light into all the places you thought were forgotten. The miracle you've been waiting for has never been about the money alone. God's blessings are not limited to numbers in an account, they are life itself. They are breath in your lungs, peace in your mind, courage when you are afraid, and comfort when you feel alone. Yet, sometimes, His love also arrives in the form of provision, unexpected, overwhelming, undeniable, as a way to remind you that He sees your real needs, even the ones you don't speak out loud. You have not been overlooked. You have not been passed by. There are angels still walking beside you, clearing paths you cannot yet see, preparing answers you never knew were already on the way. Sometimes, heaven works in silence, and you won't even realize how close your miracle is until it's right in front of you. That's why God is asking you to hold on just a little longer, to keep believing when it feels like nothing is changing, because it is often right before the breakthrough that the enemy whispers the loudest lies. Type 1515 to receive peace in your soul. But you are not listening to lies tonight. You are listening to truth, and the truth is that your story is not finished, your faith has not been in vain, and the God who holds the galaxies also holds your name in His heart. The blessings coming to you are not based on your past or your failures, but on God's mercy and His promise to never leave you without help. He knows how hard you've tried, how many times you've kept walking when you had every reason to stop, and He calls that holy. He calls that faith. What you are about to walk into is not a random event or a lucky moment. It is a divine unfolding, something written in heaven long before you ever knew you'd need it. It is grace in motion, and it's meant just for you. And while it may arrive like a miracle in your bank account, what it carries is much greater. It carries proof that your prayers have not been empty, that your hope has not been wasted, and that the God of the universe still steps into human lives with wild love and generosity. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. God's timing is not always understood, but it is always perfect. He is never rushed, never delayed, and never confused. If He is sending something your way tonight, it is because it is exactly the right time for you to receive it. Not just with your hands, but with your soul. Because sometimes, before He gives us more, He strengthens us to carry what we already have with greater trust and deeper joy. So, don't let fear speak louder than faith. Don't let the noise of the world drown out the whisper of God's voice inside you. He is not asking you to be perfect. He is simply asking you to be open, to let His love reach you, comfort you, bless you, and remind you that you are not just part of this world, you are part of heaven's plan. You are a child of light, and tonight, heaven is pouring that light over your life with more love than you can ever imagine. Let your heart soften. Let the tears come if they need to. Let yourself feel the weight lifting, even if you can't explain why. Because something sacred is happening, and your only task right now is to believe that God is closer than your next breath and kinder than every voice that ever told you to give up. Archangel Michael says, "The gates of heaven are open wide tonight, not just to pour down blessings into your life, but to wrap your soul in a love so deep, so tender, and so real, that it changes the way you breathe, the way you hope, and the way you carry yourself through the days ahead." This is not just about a number flashing across a screen or a message that excites the mind for a few moments. This is about a divine invitation from God Himself to believe that miracles are still possible, and that your life is worthy of one. Type 1616 if you surrender to God's will. You have walked through days that felt endless, where every hour seemed filled with silence from above, and where answers felt far away. You've stood in rooms full of people and still felt alone in your pain, quietly carrying burdens no one else could see. But in every one of those moments, heaven was not absent. God was right there beside you, watching, waiting, strengthening you in ways that were invisible but powerful. And now, the season of waiting is shifting, and the season of receiving is arriving gently, wrapped in peace and divine timing. There is something holy about the way God moves. He does not rush. He does not shout. He works in the stillness, in the quiet, in the places where your tears fall in silence. He meets you in the moments where you can't even find the words to pray, and instead of turning away, He draws even closer. God is not watching you from a distance, hoping you'll figure things out. He is holding you, guiding you, and preparing you for the kind of breakthrough that not only changes your situation but transforms your soul. What is coming is not a reward for your strength, but a response to your surrender. You laid your dreams down when they felt too heavy. You stayed kind when life was not fair. You chose hope when despair tried to suffocate you. And through it all, you kept the flame of faith alive, even when it flickered low. That flame, no matter how small it seemed, reached heaven, and heaven took notice. There is no limit to what God can do for the one who trusts Him. He doesn't look at your bank account to measure your worth. He doesn't look at your mistakes and hold them against you. He sees your heart, your intentions, your quiet efforts to love others, to stay gentle in a world that often feels harsh, and to keep showing up even when you feel like disappearing. That is what moves the heart of God. That is what makes you the kind of person heaven wants to bless. The miracle coming your way tonight is not just to provide for you, it is to remind you that God never stopped listening. It is to lift you from the weight of anxiety, from the fear that maybe things won't change, from the belief that you are somehow forgotten. You are not. You are seen. You are known. You are chosen for something sacred, something pure, something that will leave you breathless in awe of how deeply you are loved. Heaven's generosity is not limited by your past or your doubts. God does not withhold goodness because of your imperfections. He gives because it is who He is, merciful, kind, faithful, and full of grace. And when He chooses to bless, it is never halfway. It is always overflowing. It is always more than you thought you deserved. It is always wrapped in love, and it always arrives exactly when your heart is ready to receive it. So tonight, open your spirit. Not with fear or anxiety, but with quiet confidence that something beautiful is unfolding just beneath the surface of your life. Trust that God has already gone ahead of you, that angels have already been sent, and that the very thing you thought might never come is now making its way toward you. It may not arrive with thunder, but with a whisper. It may not shake the ground, but it will steady your soul. Type 2020 to claim joy and strength. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to beg for it. You simply have to stay open, stay soft, and stay expectant. Because what's coming is real, and it's rooted in a love that never lets go. The blessing you've been waiting for is not just an answer to your need, it's a kiss from heaven, a sign that you are not just living through days, but being led into something eternal. Archangel Michael says, there are moments in life when the veil between heaven and earth feels thinner, where the ordinary suddenly carries a holy weight, and your heart starts to sense something you can't quite explain. Tonight is one of those moments. It is not about time ticking on a clock or a message promising wealth. It is about the deep and gentle truth that God is moving near to you, not to demand anything, but to bless, to restore, and to hold your heart in His hands as only a loving Father can. The blessings of God are not always thunderous or grand in the way the world defines glory. Sometimes, they arrive in silence, wrapped in peace that cannot be shaken. And sometimes, they come as an unexpected answer, a door opening that no one thought would open, a provision so timely it could have only been heaven's hand at work. What is coming to you tonight is not an accident or a lucky moment. It is something sacred, shaped by God's love and wrapped in His timing, made for you alone. There are parts of your journey that no one else has seen, quiet seasons where you gave without being thanked, where you prayed without being answered, where you loved without being loved in return. And through all of it, heaven has been watching. Not one act of kindness, not one tear, not one silent prayer has been missed. You were seen. You were heard. You were loved even in the waiting, and now that waiting is drawing to a close, not because you begged, but because your Father delights in blessing you. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the Money Magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. This gift, this miracle that is making its way to you now, is not about wealth for the sake of riches, it is about healing. It is about security. It is about the deep rest that settles in your bones when you finally feel safe again. It is about the joy that begins to bubble up when you realize that God still answers, still surprises, still makes a way where there seemed to be none. And most of all, it is about knowing that you are not walking through this life alone. The world often teaches that you must earn everything, that only the strongest, the fastest, the loudest are rewarded. But God sees things differently. He pours out grace on those who are tired, who are honest, who are quietly faithful even when they feel forgotten. The miracle in your life will not come because of how perfectly you performed, but because of how deeply you trusted. Even when you were afraid. Even when you felt empty. Even when you didn't know what would happen next, you kept going, and that was enough. You are about to receive not just what you need, but more than you imagined. Not because life suddenly turned in your favor, but because heaven never turned away from you. The shift you feel tonight is not a coincidence. It is heaven leaning down to kiss your life with a love that does not run out. It is not because you were desperate enough or prayed just right. It is because you are a child of God, and He takes care of His own, always. Type 111 if you believe miracles are near. So let the fear melt away. Let the anxiety lift. Let the peace of God settle in you like soft rain on dry ground. You have waited long enough. You have hoped when it hurt. You have kept your faith alive when it would have been easier to stop believing. And now, the harvest is coming. Not just in your finances, but in your spirit, your relationships, your future. God is restoring the years that felt wasted. He is rebuilding what was broken. He is filling the emptiness with abundance that overflows. You do not need to understand how it will happen. You only need to stay soft in your spirit, open in your heart, and ready in your faith. Because the same God who spoke the stars into existence is now speaking peace and provision over your life. And His word never returns empty. His love never runs dry. His promises are never delayed, they are perfectly timed. This is your moment to receive. This is the hour where heaven opens wide, not because you asked loudly, but because you were never forgotten. Let it come. Type Amen if your faith is strong, and share this video with 7 people of faith to welcome blessings and miracles into your life. Archangel Michael says, there is a sacred stillness resting over your life tonight, a quiet hum of heaven that you may not hear with your ears but can feel within your soul. It is the sound of God arranging every detail that once seemed scattered and lost. It is the movement of divine order returning to the places where confusion once lived. It is the gentle promise that all the waiting, all the praying, and all the hoping were never in vain. Heaven does not forget what your heart has held onto for so long. God knows the heaviness that has followed you through seasons that tested your faith and challenged your peace. He knows how many times you've carried yourself through storms while pretending you weren't breaking inside. Yet even in those moments, when your strength was low and your courage was fading, your faith was not wasted. Every single time you whispered, "I still believe," even with trembling lips, something eternal was set in motion in the heavens. Every prayer became a seed, and tonight, that seed begins to bloom. This blessing that is approaching your life is not a random act of fortune. It is not the world deciding to be kind. It is the evidence of a promise that God made long ago, that He would provide, protect, and lift up those who trust Him with their whole heart. You may have felt forgotten at times, but God has been preparing this moment carefully, shaping it in silence, ensuring that when it arrives, it will not just meet your need but remind you of your worth. What is coming will not only fill your hands, it will restore your heart. The love of God is vast beyond understanding, and it reaches into every hidden part of your life. There is no mistake too heavy, no pain too deep, and no fear too strong to keep Him from blessing you. He does not wait for perfection before He provides. He does not measure you by what the world sees. He measures you by the light that still flickers in your soul, even after all the darkness you've walked through. That light has drawn His eyes to you, and heaven is responding now. The blessing that draws near carries peace with it, not chaos. It will not add fear or confusion, it will bring a calmness that feels like exhaling after holding your breath for too long. You will sense it before it arrives, a warmth in your spirit, a softness in your thoughts, a quiet assurance that things are shifting. You do not need to chase it. You do not need to force it. You only need to stand in faith and allow the love of God to flow freely into your life, because it was always meant for you. Type Amen to trust God's plan for your life. You may have thought that others were more deserving, that maybe your time had passed, or that your prayers were too small to matter, but God does not rank His children. He loves without measure, and He gives freely to those who wait with trust. What is about to unfold is a reminder that you have never been at the back of the line in Heaven's eyes. You have always been seen. You have always been chosen. You have always been loved with a love that refuses to let go. As you prepare to receive what God is sending, remember that true abundance is not just in the gift but in the presence of the giver. The miracle that will unfold before you is not just to make your life easier, it is to make your heart overflow with gratitude, to fill your days with light, and to renew your faith in ways that will last forever. You are stepping into a divine exchange, where weariness becomes strength, fear becomes peace, and emptiness becomes fullness. So breathe slowly, dear soul. Let the weight slip from your shoulders. Let hope rise again, gentle but strong, like morning light breaking over quiet fields. This is your moment to rest in the truth that God's love is not waiting to find you, it has already arrived. And it is bringing with it every good thing that your heart has been brave enough to believe in. Archangel Michael says, there is a hush over your life right now, a holy stillness that only heaven can bring, like the quiet air before the first snow falls or the tender pause before dawn breaks the darkness. In this stillness, something sacred is happening. God is not just near, He is present, working in ways far deeper than what the eyes can see or the mind can reason. He is preparing your heart to receive something beautiful, something only love could give, something you have longed for in silence. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brain wave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn away, the chance may not return. This is your time to step in. The world has taught you to measure life by results, to count blessings by what you hold in your hands, and to believe in something only when it shows up on a screen or on paper. But heaven doesn't work in the language of numbers or deadlines. Heaven works in whispers, in divine timing, in quiet miracles that enter your life like a breeze through an open window, unannounced but undeniable. What God is placing into your life is not only meant to ease your burdens, it is meant to remind you that you have always been His delight. So many nights, you lay in silence, asking God if He still sees you. And though you heard no reply, and though the silence felt endless, the answer was always yes. He saw you then. He sees you now. He saw the sacrifices no one noticed, the patience no one praised, and the strength you showed when everything inside you felt empty. He watched as you kept showing up, kept giving, kept hoping, when every part of you was tired of trying. And heaven, in all its glory, has not forgotten those moments. In fact, heaven honors them. The blessing approaching your life is holy, not because of how large it is, but because of the love that carries it. It's not just wealth, it is a kiss of restoration from a Father who has watched you walk through dry places without losing your tenderness. It is the fruit of trust, the kind that blooms after a long winter of waiting. It is the kindness of God answering every unspoken ache inside of you, saying, "You are not overlooked. You are not too late. You are right on time for my grace." Type 3030 if you believe Jesus lives in your heart. There are miracles that don't make headlines, but they change lives. There are moments when God moves so quietly that the world doesn't even notice, but your heart knows something eternal just shifted. That is what is happening now. The message you are receiving is not random. The feeling stirring inside you is not coincidence. You are being invited to believe again, not just in miracles, but in the one who creates them with love that never ends. There is no striving needed, no performing required. You don't have to prove your worth to God. You already are worth everything to Him. This is not about earning, this is about receiving. This is about resting in the truth that you are deeply loved, held, and provided for by the same God who created oceans, flowers, and stars, and still thought the world needed one of you. The blessing is coming, not because you asked perfectly, but because you are precious beyond words. Tonight, heaven is not just promising change, it is delivering it. You may feel something shifting in the atmosphere, like a gentle turning of the page in a story long stuck on the same chapter. That shift is real. And it will not leave you the same. The chains of fear, of lack, of self-doubt are breaking, not with noise or fire, but with the quiet authority of God's love reclaiming what always belonged to Him, your joy, your peace, your hope. Let your heart receive this with softness. Let your spirit breathe in this peace. You do not need to understand how it will all come together. You only need to trust that it already is. The hands that formed the sky are shaping your story even now. And those hands are not letting go. Archangel Michael says, there is something deeply sacred about this very moment you are living in, something quietly holy that stretches beyond what your eyes can see or what your thoughts can grasp. You may not feel it all at once, and you may still carry questions in your heart, but heaven is gently whispering to you tonight, telling you that something beautiful has already begun. It is not loud or sudden, it is tender, like the soft unfolding of morning light after a long night, slow and full of mercy. God has seen every moment you've lived behind closed doors, the moments where you held back your tears just so others wouldn't see you fall apart, the nights where you stared up at the ceiling, asking when relief would come. He has never looked away. He has never grown tired of your cries. And though it may have felt like He was silent, He was, in truth, gathering every tear, every prayer, and every fragile hope you held on to when you had every reason to let go. This is not just the beginning of something new, it is the healing of everything old that hurt you. God is not only sending a blessing that meets a financial need, but He is also placing His hand over the parts of your heart that were bruised by years of trying to stay strong. What is on the way is more than provision, it is restoration. It is the kind of grace that finds you exactly where you are and lifts you, even when you don't have the strength to stand on your own. The world around you may never understand how deeply you've had to hold on to faith just to keep going. People may never know the inner battles you've fought just to stay gentle, just to keep believing in love, in goodness, in God. But heaven knows. And it is heaven that has chosen this moment, tonight, to remind you that you are not invisible, and you are not forgotten. There is a divine light that never stopped shining over you, even when clouds made it hard to see. Type "I believe" if you believe miracles are on the way. You have walked through seasons of lack, and still, you chose to give. You've endured seasons of silence, and still, you chose to pray. You've faced moments of fear, and still, you chose to trust. And now, the harvest is coming, not as payment, but as a divine response to your unwavering hope. You are about to experience what it feels like when God says, "I've seen enough. Now let me show you what I can do." What is being placed into your life now will not just meet your needs, it will speak to your soul. It will remind you of your worth, not in the eyes of others, but in the heart of God. This is not just about what enters your account, it is about what enters your spirit. A renewed sense of peace. A deeper confidence in your purpose. A quiet joy that comes from knowing that you are not walking alone. That God, in His perfect and personal love, is walking ahead of you and opening doors you never knew existed. This blessing is not random. It has been set aside with your name on it. It is not just about money, it is about freedom. Freedom from fear. Freedom from shame. Freedom from the voice that said you were never enough. God is speaking louder than that voice now, and His words are drenched in compassion, reminding you that you are chosen, not by chance, but by love. So tonight, let your heart rest. Let the tightness in your chest loosen. Let the questions settle into the arms of God, who is not threatened by your doubts but welcomes them gently, like a father holding a tired child. You do not need to know how it will all unfold. You only need to stay open, to stay soft, to stay willing to receive what heaven has already begun to pour. What if I told you financial freedom is not about working harder, but activating a dormant brain signal designed to draw abundance directly to you? Neuroscience proves this sound wave unlocks prosperity faster than any method known before. From unexpected cash to life-changing success, it's already helping thousands. Imagine looking back tomorrow wishing you had acted today. Do not let regret replace the miracle that is calling you right now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on the ancient money wave and create the life you've always dreamed of today. Archangel Michael says, there is a holy hush in the atmosphere around you right now, as if all of heaven is leaning in, watching your life with the kind of attention only love can give. It is not because of the urgency of your request or the size of your need, but because of the tenderness of your soul, the quiet strength you've carried, and the way you've kept holding on to hope when everything around you tried to silence it. Tonight, something sacred is unfolding, not with thunder, but with the softness of God's presence wrapping gently around every corner of your heart. What is being prepared for you is not a simple gift, it is an answer that has been maturing in heaven, waiting for the perfect moment to reach you. You may not have seen all the signs along the way, but God has been placing small confirmations in your path for longer than you realize. And now, the time has come for those seeds to bloom into something visible, something real, something you can feel, hold, and breathe in as proof that faith was never wasted. Your life is about to feel the weight of divine kindness. Not just in words or in ideas, but in actions. In blessings that find you when you least expect them. In provision that flows from places you never thought to look. In peace that settles over your home like a warm blanket, calming the noise, quieting the fear, and filling the empty spaces with a stillness that speaks, you are safe now. You are covered. You are not alone. God's love for you has never depended on your perfection. It has never been based on how strong you appeared or how much you achieved. His love is rooted in who you are to Him, His child, His creation, the one He formed carefully and placed into this world for a reason. And when He decides it's time to bless you, there is no force in existence that can stand in the way. Not doubt, not fear, not even the weight of your own past. His mercy is bigger than all of it. Type 222 if you trust that God is with you always. The blessing that is coming to you is not a reward for effort. It is a reflection of love. A healing wind is about to move through your life, touching more than your finances. It is going to settle into the cracks in your heart where disappointment lived too long. It is going to speak peace into the memories that still ache. It is going to remind you that God is not distant or indifferent, He is personal, and He is deeply involved in every detail of your life. You don't need to beg. You don't need to panic. You only need to allow yourself to believe that God is exactly who He says He is, faithful, gentle, generous, and slow to anger. He is not keeping count of your flaws. He is not waiting to punish your missteps. He is running toward you with open arms, holding not just an answer, but a restoration. Something holy. Something that will settle into your life with ease, not chaos. Let yourself believe that this time is different, not because you've changed everything, but because you've grown through everything. You've surrendered in ways you never thought you would. You've released control. You've humbled yourself before God. And now, in that quiet surrender, the atmosphere around you is shifting. The pressure is breaking. The way is being made clear. Heaven is not bound by the rules of the world. It does not operate on luck or chance. It flows with intention. It flows with purpose. And right now, that flow is moving directly toward you. You don't have to understand every detail. You only need to stay close to God. Keep your spirit open, your heart soft, and your hands ready. What is coming is good, and it is coming fast. Not to overwhelm you, but to lift you. To carry you. To fill you with a peace that cannot be shaken. Archangel Michael says, even now, as these words reach your heart, heaven is moving closer, like a soft wind touching your face without warning, a warmth that wraps around you with no need for explanation. This is not imagination. This is not coincidence. This is the real presence of God meeting you exactly where you are, not because you have begged for it or worked for it, but because you are loved in a way that cannot be measured. That love is here to stay, and it's bringing with it a blessing unlike anything you've ever known. You have walked through many seasons that felt like silence, where your prayers seemed to echo back at you, unanswered, untouched, unreturned. You have looked at your circumstances and wondered if maybe you were asking for too much, if maybe heaven had closed its doors to you. But tonight, I want you to know with all certainty, God has never turned away from you. Not once. Not ever. In fact, the very ache in your heart was felt in His, and your quiet persistence was seen as beauty in His eyes. The blessing that is coming to you now is deeply personal. It is not just about numbers or success or comfort. It is about redemption. It is about reclaiming what was stolen by fear, by loss, by time. It is about your soul being filled in places that were left dry for far too long. The abundance that is on its way will not overwhelm you, it will steady you. It will meet you at the very place where your strength ends and God's grace begins to pour. Type 333 to welcome peace into your heart. Sometimes, you've believed for others more easily than you've believed for yourself. You've spoken encouragement when your own heart felt empty. You've cheered others on while secretly wondering if joy would ever fully return to you. But God saw it all, and not one single act of love, not one moment of silent sacrifice, went unnoticed. The blessing being released into your life is not only a gift, it is a response to the way you've continued to love in the dark, to give while lacking, to hope when it hurt. What is coming will not make sense to those around you, because it is not man-made. It is heaven sent. It will arrive not according to plans drawn on paper, but by the hands of angels guided by divine order. And when it comes, your heart will recognize it, not just for what it is, but for what it means. It will mean that you were never forgotten. It will mean that your faith was always growing roots beneath the surface. It will mean that your life, your pain, your hope, it all mattered more than you knew. Let yourself breathe a little deeper now. Let yourself trust again, not because the path ahead is clear, but because the one walking with you has never let you go. His voice may be quiet, but his presence is unshakable. He does not make promises he will not keep. He does not stir hope without a purpose. And he does not call you beloved without meaning it with all his heart. You are not just waiting for something good to happen. You are standing at the edge of it. The blessing that is coming to you carries the fragrance of heaven itself. It is filled with peace, surrounded by light, and wrapped in the mercy of a God who has watched every step of your journey with tears in his eyes and love in his hands. This is your time to receive, not with striving, but with surrender. Not with fear, but with quiet trust. Archangel Michael says, there is a deep quiet surrounding your spirit right now, like the kind of stillness that comes just before a miracle unfolds. You may not fully recognize it, but heaven is already here. God is close, not in the distance, not behind the noise, but right where you are, right in the middle of the place that has felt the most uncertain, the most fragile, the most in need of something greater. He's not waiting for a better version of you to arrive. He's blessing you exactly as you are, with love that doesn't flinch and grace that never runs out. Your life has been moving through layers of pain and waiting, through days where you tried to hold everything together while quietly wondering if anything would truly change. You may have grown tired. You may have felt like your prayers were stretching into empty space, but what you didn't see, what you couldn't see, is that every word you spoke in faith was being gathered by angels, carried up into heaven, and laid at the feet of the Father. And the answer, child, is yes. Yes, it's coming. Yes, you are worthy. Yes, this is the time. God is not limited by what you see in front of you. He is not shaken by the numbers, the timing, the past, or the opinions of others. He is not measuring his response to you by how strong you've looked on the outside or how put together your life appears to be. He sees deeper than that. He sees your tired eyes, your restless heart, your quiet longing for a sign that it's going to be okay. And in response to that sacred ache, he is sending more than money, more than relief. He is sending peace that lasts, a breakthrough that heals, and a blessing that carries his signature. Type 444 if you believe in God's divine protection. The $111 million miracle is not just a number. It is a symbol of heaven's overflow. It is the kind of gift that tells a story, not of luck, not of chance, but of redemption. It tells the story of a heart that trusted even when it trembled. Of a soul that stayed soft even when life tried to harden it. It tells the story of a child who kept believing that God could still do the impossible, even when the odds looked unforgiving. And now, heaven is writing a new chapter, with your name at the top of the page, with joy inked into every line. God is not giving to you out of obligation. He's giving because it delights him to do so. He's giving because you are his. Because you've walked through fire and refused to let your heart go cold. Because even when you doubted, you stayed close. Because you kept praying, not out of force, but because something inside you believed that one day, the answer would come. That day is not in the distance. It's unfolding right now, quietly, steadily, like sunlight rising behind the hills. You don't have to prepare yourself for disappointment. You don't have to brace yourself for bad news. Those days are behind you. What's ahead is newness. What's ahead is ease where there used to be struggle. Laughter where there used to be worry. Wholeness where there used to be broken pieces. This isn't just about your bank account. It's about your soul finally breathing again. So, let the walls you've built around your heart fall gently. Let yourself hope again, not because everything makes sense, but because the God who holds your life together has never let go. His presence is in the very air around you. His promise is tucked into the moments you are about to step into. This is not the end of your struggle. It is the beginning of your testimony. Archangel Michael says, the atmosphere around you is shifting, though your eyes may not fully see it yet. Something quiet and holy is moving through the air, and it's coming with the kind of grace that wraps itself around your shoulders and whispers, you don't have to carry this anymore. God has seen how long you've waited, how many nights you've whispered into the silence, how often you've looked up, wondering if heaven still had your name written in its plans. And now, like the first soft breeze before the rain, your answer is arriving, not as a flash, but as a steady, undeniable truth. This blessing that is drawing near is not here to impress you, it is here to restore you. It is not just about changing your circumstances. It is about lifting the weight from your chest, softening the fear that has been living quietly behind your smile, and bringing light into the places that you thought might never feel warm again. The $111 million miracle is only the surface of what's really happening. The deeper miracle is this: God is proving to your heart that He never stopped watching over you, never stopped listening, never stopped loving you. What if everything you've been chasing, wealth, freedom, success, could be drawn to you automatically, simply by unlocking a secret brain wave hidden inside you? Once classified by intelligence agencies, this discovery is now available to the public, and it's changing lives instantly. Picture yourself debt-free, stress-free, and thriving. The window is open, but not forever, and every second you wait is wealth slipping from your hands, so grasp it now. Click the link in video description and comments below to awaken this money magnet frequency and watch abundance flow into your life today. Type 555 to receive blessings and miracles. Every moment you've spent wondering whether your prayers would ever take root has not been wasted. Heaven is never late, and it is never silent, it only works on a timeline we can't always see. And while you waited, something inside you grew stronger, even when you didn't feel it. Your faith stretched in the dark. Your heart remained soft. And that tenderness you've protected, even in the hardest seasons, has become a landing place for the blessing God is sending now. You may feel unprepared for what is coming. You may even feel undeserving. But blessings are not about what we've earned. They are about what God delights in giving. He is not giving this to you because you've done everything right. He is giving it because He is good, and because you've continued to believe in that goodness, even when you had every reason to stop. That is faith. And faith always catches the attention of heaven.